So our windshield rubber replacement project has kind of changed more into a cab restoration. We realized once we had the windshield out, it was a good time to go ahead and sand the cab down, maybe get it primed and painted, stop the rust, and also to go ahead and clean out the old seam sealer that's in the drip rail on the cab and replace that with new. That stuff gets old and dry rotted and allows water to seep in, and that's what rusts a lot of these old cabs. And so we want to go ahead and do all the things that we need to do to really protect this cab because it's in great shape, and we want to stop what rust is already there. So we'll see how it goes. While we got this windshield out, we're going to go ahead and sand around where it inserts and throw some primer and some paint on it just to seal it up. But as you can see, this truck is real clean. Watch out, Lachlan. Down in this area where you see them eat out quite a bit, all of this is solid. No rust, no cancer. And so while we got this windshield out, we're going to sand her, primer, and paint her before we put the windshield back in. Now this ain't... All right, here's the current condition of the top of the cab. We've done a little bit of sanding to knock most of the heavy rust off. And then here is our drip rail. As you can see down in there, it is cracked, dry rotted, and in need of resealing. Knocking this old seam sealer out here, and I started out with a wire brush on a grinder, and what it was doing was heating it up and making it gummy. So this stuff is so hard that it's actually easier to just chip it out with a flathead screwdriver and a little hammer. And then once I get all the big stuff knocked out, we'll go back with the wire wheel and kind of clean this up. So, wanted to show you real quick what's underneath. So right in here, you can see underneath the sealant, there is rust. But as I was saying earlier, this truck cab is in really good shape. So I don't even see pitting or anything like that. But there is some underlying rust there that we're going to address. But real happy with the condition of this. So we're just going to finish knocking the rest of this stuff out, and then I'm going to wire brush it. All right, this is what I deal with. Just about every phase, somebody got to stop and cook and eat.
Hey, what time is it?
It's time for you to bring me that extension cord.
What time? Oh, what time is it?
All right, well, I'll keep working. Y'all go on and eat.
It's dinner o'clock.
Y'all go on and eat. So we wire brushed that drip rail down in there, and you can see that that looks much better. I don't think it's ever going to be perfect, but what we're looking for is to get the big stuff out, knock most of the rust off, and we're going to do some treatments to it before we reseal it, do a rust converter, prime it, and things like that. All right, we went ahead and got this thing taped off where I can shoot my rust converter, and then we went ahead and taped on around because we are going to be priming and painting the cab. So we had to do some thinking on what we were going to tape and what we weren't. But I think we're just about ready. I'm going to start shooting the rust converter up on top. And then once we're done with that, we'll go to shooting primer and get a coat of paint on it. All right, so we got this top prepped. We got the drip rail prepped. We got everything taped off. So now I'm going to start shooting the rust converter to it. And this stuff, you put it on pretty sparingly in a couple different coats, and it will change colors when it's ready. And so we'll try to get some footage of that and show you what that looks like. All right, this stuff goes on clear, and let me go ahead and get you a shot of that. Take a look at what that looks like clear. Okay, it may be hard to tell, but it's going on clear. And we're gonna let it flash. They say let it flash and dry in between coats, and it should convert and turn black from my understanding. So we'll see how it works. So I went ahead and I've got the second coat on, and already I can start to see the rust turning black. So the chemicals inside the rust converter, it's actually a chemical reaction rather than just a coating. And so the chemical in there, it reacts with the iron oxide, and through that chemical reaction, it actually turns the rust into a hard, solid piece of metal chemically, and stops any rusting, any pitting that's going on there. And if you'll get a shot in here, you can start to see down inside that drip rail, the stuff that was in there that was red and orange before has already started to turn black. And I don't know how well it's going to show on the camera, but it's definitely very noticeable in person here. We're just going to let this set up, probably let it set overnight before we do anything else to it, but tomorrow we'll scuff it, prime it, and get ready for the seam sealer.
This guy has
All right, what I'm going to do is, while I'm letting that drip rail cure, I'm going to go ahead and get the bulk of the top primed.
You know, I would have never found your YouTube channel if it wasn't for your mom.
And yes, this is just rattle can. I'm not into show quality. All I'm doing is trying to get a coat on here to preserve the cab, and what remains, it's a good cab. I'm not going for show paint. We do have some guns down in the paint booth, but for what I'm doing right here, I'm just trying to get something on it just to protect it and coat it. So yeah, rattle can. So I got the sealer, or the seam, rust coated, and I got the cab top with a one light coat of primer. We're gonna let this dry overnight, come back, work it again tomorrow. While that cab is drying and curing tonight, we decided to go ahead and tape off our trim here on the side. And that white stripe that runs down the side of this truck is going to get touched up. Now, we're not going to repaint the truck. We're not going for show quality, but little things that will make this truck pop, we want to just kind of touch up on. And so that stripe on this side and the other side is going to get touched up with a nice coat of white. And I've got Declan over here taping off, Titus taping off, and we're gonna shoot some white on it tonight and let it be curing. Y'all get to taping, boys.
Yep.
Ain't gonna paint itself.
I did.
We've been taping since
I think
98.
I did it.
So, they got the stripe down the side of the truck taped off. We're gonna acetone clean it. And then we're going to shoot the
Twist
white
and
to
pull.
it.
Twist and pull.
Okay, so my rust converter cured overnight. My drip rail is nice and black. You can see where that rust converted. And the next step was to come in and scuff this after it cured. So I took a 220 grit sandpaper and roughed this seal up. And now I've cleaned it with acetone, wiped it clean, good and dry, and now I'm about to start applying the seam sealer. And it's in a tube. I'm just gonna squeeze a small amount down in there, and what you really wanna do is work it down into that seam. There, you can see down in here, there's a metal, two pieces of metal that are folded over, and you really wanna get that seam sealer pressed down where that seam is at. It doesn't take a whole lot. You don't wanna gob the stuff in there, but you want a nice bead pressed in, nice and smooth, and then I'm gonna take an acid brush at the end and just kind of texture it down in there to where it looks more original, more factory. So everything's clean, everything's prepped. Next thing, seam sealer going in. Went ahead and run a bead down this, and I'm just gonna take finger and smear it down through there, and by the time I lay that down, it'll bring it on towards the back, be nice and thin down through there.
You know, that's kind of what that windshield acts like it's had in it, is that stuff there. Instead of them putty rolls like I got.
Now that worked out nice. So at first, on the other side, I run a couple test runs and wasn't getting enough down in there. So I run a thicker bead here. I cut the tip on the tube to where it'd run a thicker bead, and that laid down real nice, and I could feel it pressing. The seam is out along this outer edge. I could feel it giving and pressing down in there, and then it just started pulling all the way towards the back and just laying down nice, flat, and even. So that actually worked out pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna lay another bead down this back edge, picking up where I left off over here on the side. And what I'm doing is I'm going back and overlapping just a little bit because it gets thin towards the end. And again, there are buckets of this stuff that you can get that are brushable. This one was the only option we had here, was the one in the tube, so that's the one we got. And again, I'm pulling towards this outside edge because that's where the seam is. I can feel the sealer squeezing down in there. Few places that got a little thick on me and tried to squeeze out over the top of the lip. So I'm just going to go back and clean that edge up. And I'm not going to touch it. That's one thing. You go to touching and messing with it, and it starts getting everywhere. That looks good, so I'm not going to mess with it. I just got it off the edge, and I'm going to call it done. Just give a little bit better angle here, see if you can see. But it just went real smooth right down in that channel. Not too bad. So we've got paint going on. That was the first coat on a door there. Getting the A-pillars around the front where the windshield goes. Just got this door taped off and the door jamb and everything painted on it. Next we'll move to the roof. We've got it primed up there, but I haven't started painting. But it's just a slow process of prep. Prep is taking most of the time, but we're working to get it done. Starting to look really good. All right, go ahead. Looks like a pretty good cut, don't it? We got the paint on. We let it dry for a couple days. And at this point, we're just going to start tearing paper off and kind of see what it looks like. I think we are good to do this, right? There was nothing else we were going to paint. It's kind of scary because it takes so much time to get this stuff taped and covered up. But I think we were done. We were just going to let it dry and set up good. But I think we're going to go ahead and tear all this paper off. So here we go.
Do you want to? I guess I just reach in here. I know I'll come change where we can see all this come off.
Okay. All right. You get that in there?
Cool, that works. Roll that window down a little bit. All right, back up. Back down. Got it.
got overspray.
That was probably from before where we...
No, it come all the way around.
Oh, did it?
Well, this don't matter. Pull the paint out. This don't matter. Yeah, easy. Because once you're pulling paint.
You ain't hooked or something. You didn't hook on the...
Yeah, I did.
All right, so paper off, plastic off. Not totally finished with everything we're going to do, but paint-wise, I think we're kind of there. Still got to get the windshield put back in. The white that you see on this door is patinaed. It was the under primer that was under the black paint. So that's not overspray. It's a white primer and a red primer underneath the black paint. So we did that. While that was drying, at one point we decided, well, we got white paint out. Let's go ahead and get this white stripe on the back done. And while we were doing that, decided to go ahead, touch up the tailgate a little bit. Still hadn't unpapered this. I may put one more coat on that stripe.
Accelerator all the way forward, let up real quick, and come on up on the choke.
All right, Declan, tell us what you're doing there.
I am pulling the door panels off of the door.
For what?
I don't know for what.
We're going to be replacing the window rubbers in this door, the belt line.
Okay.
To where it all, the windows don't rattle. See, right now when you're going down the road,
Yeah.
so we're going to
Pretty
replace our window channels, our felts in the window channels, the window rubbers, and the belt line.
Okay. And there's the inside.
Okay.
Put the door panel off. It's heavier than you think it'd be in this door panel.
All right. Just set it aside. We've also pulled the...
Flexes.
No, it's not. Pulled the old door rubbers out, the door seals.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to stick some new door seals in. Now, these doors shut really good before we pulled the old ones out. So the old ones were still pretty decent, but they did need to be replaced. So we're going to go ahead.
Oh, and a seal here.
Yep. We're going to go ahead and replace door rubbers, door seals, window rubbers.
And see
While
what's
we're
wrong
down.
with our window. Because it
Yep.
won't go up. I don't think.
What's wrong with the window?
Yeah, it won't go up.
It
still.
wouldn't go up and down because the window rubbers were out and it was the metal frame was catching.
Okay.
So now That's gonna fix all that.
Yeah.
All right,
there.
keep working.
It's coming out. Hey,
The window's got to come out. You can take that out.
that's what I was wondering. I was coming out.
Y'all keep up the good work. I'm gonna sit over here and eat.
Sucker was brittle.
I'm gonna sit over here and
Hard.
eat while y'all are working this time.
There, I got it. Sucker was tough. Is it supposed to be like that?
What?
All crunchy.
Yeah, it's stuff.
Rock hard?
It's hardened,
Oh, it's supposed to be like.
hardened and brittle and
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that though.
No.
60 years old.
Okay, I was just wondering. I didn't know if it was supposed to be like.
Nope. That's why we're replacing it.
No. Everything out of there.
Well, y'all did a good job on this sausage.
Pull it.
It won't come out of this other side.
There. Squeeze and pull. Pull. Come on.
Up.
Come on. Pull
Oh,
out.
really?
Come on. Out.
You about got it.
Pull out. Up. Dag nabbit.
I did.
Quit screaming.
Now hip it
He
up.
screamed at me.
Hip it up.
I'm trying to do it.
Now grab it. Grab this side.
I mean, I know it ain't show quality paint, but try to stay off of it.
I'm trying to scratch it more.
I guess if it gets a scratch in it, I'll quit worrying about it getting scratched, won't I?
Now pull out.
Kind of out and up.
Just out.
Straight
Get
out?
up, get up high. Get right there. Pull out. Pull out. Pull out.
Let me do it.
Oh my. Tender.
No, I don't want you to do it.
Then quit moaning.
I'm the one with the pliers.
Now, can you grab both of them and squeeze them together?
Ow! I
Dude.
keep cutting myself.
Lord have mercy.
Well, when the metal's so thin.
Bunch of old ladies out here.
Come on, pull up.
What are you pulling, the belt line?
I've never dealt with a belt line before.
That looks like a clip. Well, at least it's clipped and not stapled.
Right. Stop. Let go.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Which piece you got, Adam?
Do what? All right, we got the outside belt line in. It's a little tricky. You want to be careful not to pry against your glass too much and break your glass, but once you get it down in there and get the clips lined up with the holes, it's pretty easy. It's just getting it lined up and set down in there straight. So, just a quick update. We ended up pulling the belt line back out so that we could get our window rubber from here all the way around, comes down, goes into the door down here. You can't see it. Even if there was light, you probably couldn't see it. But pulling the belt lines back out made that a lot easier. We did do it with the window in. You just kind of have to roll the window up and down to get the spacing that you need where you can get your arm in there, work that belt in, and then get your hand down into the door and start pushing that rubber into the track all the way up, work around the window, and then once you get past the window, roll it down and then work it into the groove all the way around to the front. And now we're putting belt lines back in, and then we'll add in here in the division bar the pieces that go down in there. So a little bit of a learning process there. We did things a little out of order, but I think we're making headway once again. So we did get the belt line, the window rubber that comes up and around, and the division bar track that's right here goes all the way down. Now, just a quick recap. The way we did it and the way it worked was we ended up pulling our belt lines back out. What's up, dude?
What's up?
Declan's currently working on getting this door seal back in.
I'm kind of struggling.
But
Ow.
we started the rubber that goes along the top of the door and down all the way to the bottom of the track here. Put it in first. And what we had to do is kind of roll this window up and down to give us space. But generally what we did was window down, get as much of the rubber pushed down into here, just flopped down in there behind the glass. And it just kind of lays in there. And then we rolled the glass up, which gave me room to come in here and push it into its track. And then rolled the window back down into the rubber that was in its track, and then squeeze the rubber together and put it along the top edge in the back. Now, I'm sure that's very clear and makes a lot of sense. After we did that rubber, we put the belt line back in. And of note, the belt line, if you can see, it comes to the outside of the division bar here. And on the other side, it goes to the outside of the division bar. And then on the back side, it goes between the door and the rubber. And same on the other side. The belt line is squeezed between the door and the rubber. So it does go in between those two. It's kind of sandwiching that rubber together right there. And then once we had that in, what I ended up having to do to get the division bar felt in was basically start with all of the felt inside the door. So I brought it all inside of here, and the window was up, and I shoved it up just enough right here to where when I rolled the window down, I got a hold of it with a pair of needle nose pliers here, and luckily was able to snake it up all the way to the top, and then pushed it into its track down in the door, and then rolled the window down and pushed it into its track up top. And now, Declan, go ahead real quick, take a break, roll the window down and up. So the window rolls down.
Rolls a lot easier.
Yep. Rolls down nice and smooth, stops. Okay, now roll it all the way back up. And when it gets to the top, you kind of got to take it over the bump. Boom.
That means it's good and locked.
And it goes all the way up, and everything is snug. And then shake the door.
You used to rattle really bad.
No rattling window.
Used to rattle really, really bad.
So, we're going to count that as a win. Declan's working the rest of this door seal around, and what this is that we opted for is the non-adhesive. It's just the push on, and it looks to be
It
working
does wonders.
awesome. Not having to mess with any sticky film. And when it gets on, you can just see it really suck up to the door and get real tight. And so it looks like it's going to be nice. And not having to mess with sticky adhesive is a bonus too. Yeah, you're going to have extra. We're going to have to cut it. But he's just got
These corners are the toughest.
a soft, dead blow hammer there.
Yep.
Make sure you don't hammer it and cut the seal, but he just hammers it up. I'm gonna try to see. Yep, right in there. Kind of come on out, down.
Yeah.
Yep, there it went. Now come back to that corner. There it went. Okay, and then just keep walking it down. All right, so right now we're going to move to the driver's side. I'm going to pull this kick plate here at the bottom, get the rest of this old door seal out, and start putting the new door seals in. After the door seals here, we'll jump over to the window rubbers and the window felts. And that turned out nice on the other side as well. That window doesn't rattle. And this one didn't rattle bad. Just really bad. But yeah, we're gonna get started. Like I talked about on the other side, no adhesives. And it just clamps on to this edge. And then take you a little dead blow, just hammer it home.
Different screw. Try a different screw. We may have to.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and pop this old belt line out. And pretty much it's all gone except for the metal frame. All right, they're all kind of popped. And then just get in there and kind of roll up. This stuff is rotten. Okay. There's one side. And there's the other side. Old belt lines are out. I'm gonna start trying to get this window rubber out. And it is very brittle and hard. And probably just have to break it out in pieces. All right, let's see if I can get that window to start up in the track. right, let's get the rubber in all the way around. So now we're going to go in with the belt line. Okay, I think that's lining up a little better. On the outside of the window rubber, it's lining up with all the holes down through here. There's 3. And 4. And just go back down through here. Make sure those clips snap in. All right. All right, I think that's got that one. So now we're on to the division bar felt, rubber, whatever you want to call it. You got it. All right. All right. Now you can see it's pulling up through there fairly easily. Okay. All right. So now you got new belt lines, new window rubbers, and new division bar felt. And no rattling window. All right, we got the door handle, window roller upper, armrest, door panel, all the window rubbers and felts installed. This door is complete. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. We got a lot more done than we initially planned. While that windshield was out, we got the drip rail seam sealer replaced. We got the window felts and window rubbers replaced. All the door seals are new. And we got the windshield and windshield rubber back in. So this thing is tighter, drier, and quieter than it's ever been. We've got a lot more planned for it and a lot more coming up on some other projects. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you on the next one.